mention so that in case somebody has missed it, they will have it. Okay. So what we are going to study, if you have watched my video and gone through the handout, then it will be very simple. So we'll try to cover 2 handouts this week. See, we'll start with first of all understanding the chessboard. Okay. So so what it so the chessboard, we can divide it into 2 halves. If you divide it horizontally like this, right, if you draw a line like this, then you know that there is white side and there is black side, right? That is how we say that some on white side and on black side. It is very simple, logical. And then if you divide it vertically, right, if you divide it vertically, then here what happens is, you can also divide it vertically into 2 halves, and then we call right, when you are on the white side, if you are looking at it from the white side, then the right side is the king side, because that is where the kings belong, and the left side is queen side. But it is with respect to the position of the kings and the queens. Okay, so from black side, if you are looking at it, then your left side will be king side, because king is there on the left side of you. Okay, if you are looking at it from the black side. Okay, and queen will be on the right side. So but remember that the starting position is that both the kings are facing each other and both the queens are facing each other, right? So there is no confusion. Both the board, irrespective of which side you are looking at it, the same half of the board is called as the queen side, because the queens belong to that side, and the same half of the board is called as the king side. Okay, so this is the starting thing first. Okay, and now after that, I think all of you already are playing it, so you know. Oh, Agastya. Okay,
Not a good news. Yeah.
so what is it? So see, you see this chessboard right here.
Oh my God. I did not understand the very first part. The
Sorry.
king and queen. I did not understand white side and black side one part.
Okay, okay. You look at, see, if you imagine that you are looking at it from the white side. Okay, you are at the bottom of the board here and you are looking at it, because if you are playing white.
Oh.
Okay, if you are playing white.
Sir, I'm saying that where the upper one,
Wait.
where the white side one is given.
Oh, first one, here.
Yeah.
Here it is very simple, right? Yeah, I'm hearing some noise extra. Okay, so what is there? Simple, right? It is white's half and black's half. Black side pieces are black's half, and white side pieces are white's half. I mean, that half of the chessboard where white starts, that is the white side. Right? Got it? We always say this half of the board, we say it is the white's half of the board, and the other half we say is the black's half. Right? Simple.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so queen side and king side also we saw. Okay, now we will go to the, very quickly we'll review how the pawns move, right? All of you already know pawns move straight, but they capture sideways, right? They attack and capture sideways. They don't attack in front. Like if now here in this position, if you see, then the white knight is under attack by the black pawn, because black attacks sideways. But if the white knight was in front of the pawn, then it would not be under attack, right, by the pawn, right? So very simple, but you have to understand this. So I hope all of you, and pawns always move straight but capture sideways. After capturing, they will go to the next column and then they will continue to move in that column. They would change the columns, right? Any questions here? It is fairly simple, but if you have any questions, I will stop here. And what I've shown is the same positions before pawn capture, how it looks, and same position here. It looks like after the pawn has captured, then you will see it here. The pawn has moved from here to here. So that is what you see it here. The pawn could have, in this half or this quarter of the chessboard, the pawn could have captured the knight as well as the rook. So it captured the rook. So if it captured the rook, now the rook is gone and the pawn has reached the square of the rook, and after this now the pawn will move straight in that line, right? So I'm sure all of you already know this, but just in case anyone has any doubts or whatever it is, let us just get this confirmed, right? So how the pawn captures? Pawn always moves straight. First time when you are making the move, you have the option of moving it one square or two squares, right? So you can play e2 to e3, or you can play it to e4, right? One or two, it is your option. But once it has moved, after that it will only be able to make one move at a time, one square at a time, right? That is how the pawns move, right? Okay. So clear so far. So then we will go to the next thing. So here, if you look at it here, how many possible moves that white has? If you look at the highlighted quarter of the board, can you tell how many possible moves? What is possible move options that white has? How many?
Sir, 2.
Yeah.
It can cross.
Yeah, each one of them can cross the other pawn, either left side or the right side pawn. So, and similarly, black to play also has got two possible moves. If you look at this quadrant number 1 here, how many possible moves does white have? This is
Sir,
white side.
1.
1,
2, sir.
2. White has got 4 possible moves in this quadrant.
Sir, 2 moves over there.
4 moves, 4 moves.
Sir, I think I can count. Sir, can I count and tell you the move?
Yeah, count.
In the first column, white can do 2 moves. In the second column, white can also do 2 moves. Here it can do 1 move, so 5 moves. And here white can do 6 moves, right? 6 moves altogether.
So
Move
if
front and also capture.
no, 6 moves it cannot do. Here, look at it here. The quarter that I have highlighted, the white pawn can capture the left back pawn or the right black pawn. So that is 2 moves.
Sir, so that counting it's 1 move only in each the square.
Yeah, one move. And in the straight, it can move 2 squares because it is on the original square. White pawn is starting from its original square. So it can decide to move 2 squares or it can decide to move 1 square. So there are 2 options, and then 2 options of killing the pawn. So total 4 moves that white can play in this highlighted square, right? If you look at this highlighted square, number 3, quadrant number 3, how many moves does white have?
Sir. Now I get it. White can move 2 here.
Yes.
Here 1 and 2. Here side and here also side. And
Yeah,
it can
I mean, the way to count is white can in quadrant number 3, which I am showing, white has got 2 possible moves. One is capture the pawn or simply move ahead the pawn, right? And black also has got 2 moves.
But sir, if we move it here, won't both the pawns be blocked?
Yeah, they will be blocked, but that is not the question, right? The question is how many moves that white can make. White can make 2 possible moves, right? So that is the important thing to understand. Okay. So
Okay, understood.
Now,
Sir.
fine. Now this is a homework for you in this position. In fact, if somebody has counted because the handout was shared, then you can tell me. Otherwise, you can tell the answer on WhatsApp. How many moves does white have? Possible moves does white have in this position, and how many possible moves does black have in this position? Don't try to solve it now. If you have already solved it, you can tell it. Otherwise, after the class, after the practice or whatever, you can tomorrow you can look at it and then send the answer to me. Okay. So that is the homework. You have to look at all the possible moves. Okay, all the possible moves from both white side and black side, and you have to give your answer. Okay, fine. Now, so that is what is the thing, so that your concepts of pawn movement will become very clear. And what is the next thing that you can do for practice? Okay, for practice purposes, with if you have your cousin, brother, sister, or dad or mom, or with anyone that you can play, try to play a game with just the pawns. The rules, same rules apply. Okay, means movement and capture rules are same. Only thing is that remove all the pieces.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
In the last part, in some of the part it says, uh, if it gets to your opponent first rank, means if black gets to A1, it can promote as well, but it's already won. That's my question.
Yeah. So because in this game there is no other pieces, etc. So what we decide in this, see, I've given the rules of the game. So you can play this some 7, 8, 10 times, and then you will get a good understanding of the pawn movements. What is the rules? You play normally only. White will start the play, black will respond, and every time you make the move. But if you capture all of your opponent's pawns, then you are the winner. Okay. Or
But in the second one, if you are the first to reach the last rank,
yeah, which means your pawn
that
advances to
means
the
it
to the
can also promote,
yeah, promote.
right?
So essentially your pawn like reaches the promotion square. Okay. And your opponent, so if it happens that you are making a move, you are promoting, and the next move the opponent also promotes his pawn, then it's a draw. But if you are promoting and the opponent is not able to promote his pawn on the next move, then you are the winner. Okay. So it should
But
happen
but
that
but but the one question that is that if it reaches, it can also become a queen, bishop, knight, or a rook, right?
I know, but this is the special game, right? Other in normal game, the game would have continued till checkmate, but this is a special type of game. Why I have created this is that for you to get the understanding of the how the pawns move, how to use the pawns, not just know how the pawn moves, but how to plan with it. So because when you are playing this game, now you are trying to win it. The only way to win is either kill all the pawns or to promote your pawn and not allow the opponent to promote. So for that, now you will have to think, and it is easier to think only with pawns than with all the pieces. So that's why I have said that you play this game about 10 times, at least 10 such games you play with only the
Okay.
pawns, with somebody, some sparring partner, your friend, brother, or whoever, and just explain
But
these rules to them and play it, and you will get a very good understanding of the how the pawn moves.
yeah, but sir, I have my father and mother, but none of them know about chess.
So you can teach them. This is very simple, right? Pawns are very simple to
Okay.
think, so you can teach them, no problem.
Yeah, sometimes teach them not to
Good,
play
that
this
is very
move,
good.
that move, and like that, because
Very
I
good.
know some basics.
Sure. Okay. Cool. All right. So now we have covered this chessboard. Then the next thing to know is something called as chess notation. Okay. Now chess notation is it is like a language of chess. Okay. Just as you have mathematics as its language, right? X plus y equal to 4 or something like that, right? So what is X, what is Y, you say variables and all. So similarly, there is a language of chess. So when you are improving, you have to understand, and the language of chess is very important to understand, and it is a very simple language. Okay, actually it's very logical. What the chessboard has got 64 squares, right? 8 rows and 8 columns, right? So how they have done, they have given a numbering for each square. How they have numbered is from the
Sir, your
white.
voice is breaking.
Is it okay? The
Sir,
network.
your voice is breaking a bit.
Okay, maybe I will just, sometimes the signal varies. I am on mobile Wi-Fi, so mobile hotspot.
No, not for me.
Okay, fine. So the way to look at the way they have numbered it is from white side, you start numbering the columns. From the left side, you say first column is A column, next column is B column, right? Then C column. So like this, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, only from the white side. Okay, so it is, so the not from the black sides. So from the white side, left side is A, right side is H. If you are looking at it from the black side, then it will be the reverse thing. Left side will be H and right side will be A, because black will be sitting here and this side will be sitting and looking at it, right? But the square numbering is from the white side. The columns are called as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and the rows are called as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One is from the white side, the base where all the king, queen, all the pieces, those, that is the first row. Then it is the second row, then it is the third row. So like this, it is called as this one. Okay. So, and so you have the squares going from A1 to A8, B1 to B8, C1 to C8, like this, going from H1 to H8, right? So each square is first of all given a unique number. I mean, name. It is a square is named. Okay. So if you are looking at it from white side, this is how the chessboard looks, because your side is A1, B1, C1, D1, and opponent side is A8, B8, C8, H8, D8, C8, whatever, F8, G8, H8. If you
Sir,
are looking at it, yeah,
you had said in the last one when we were studying that the fourth until the fourth is the white side, right?
correct. First one, rows number 1, 2, 3, 4 are white side, 5, 6, 7, 8 are black.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you look at it from the black side, this is how it looks, because you are looking at it from the black side. So you see H8, G8, F8, E8, D8, like this is to your at your base. And then you see seventh row, sixth row, fifth row, fourth row, all the way going up to first row, which is H1, G1, F1, E1, D1, C1, B1, A1. That is the white side, right? That is where white pieces are located. So now you have got the square numbering perfectly thing. So you should just go through it every time, go through it from the square once you say it aloud in your practice, home practice, so that you will get it very, very clear. Okay. Okay. Now, what is the name? I said about columns and rows, right? But there is a particular word in chess for calling it. We call it as file. A file, B file, C file, D file. So all these A, B, C, D are called as files. And the 1, 2, 3, 4 as called as ranks. Okay, this, the origin of this lies in military. Okay, when people used to, so chess is like a, like similar to how you play the battlefield, right? So all the words are also similar to what is there on the battlefield. So if somebody of you are interested in military and army and this etc, right, you will, and if you are looking at it historically how it used to be in the olden days, then the soldiers used to march in files. Okay, so one column used to go in files, so one behind the other, and then there will be next soldier, next column, that used to be called as files. And that is why in chess also we call it as file. That's how they move straight ahead, foot soldiers, okay, infantry. And then the ranks, because this is how the rows used to be organized. Okay,
Sir,
like,
sir, I watched the video in the Navy. Guns were getting with fire. Everyone was standing in the rank. One Navy soldier was going through the middle like the ranks.
yeah, that is correct. So that's why the ranks are organized based on the rank. So like soldiers of all of the soldiers of the same rank will be in one row. They will stand, and then higher level soldiers will stand in the second row. So like this, they used to stand it. So that is how it is called as ranks in chess. Okay. Fine. Now interesting thing is that each of the files, if you see, they will have alternating squares, one white, one black, one white, one black. Similarly, if you see the ranks, they also will have alternating squares, right? One right, one white, one black, right? Uh, Now there is one more thing to consider. See, there is a black, squares are also white and black, and sides are also white and black. So you might get confused, right? So when you say white square, are you saying about a square in white's half, or are you talking about a square which is colored white? So it gets confusing when you are trying to write about it, and when you write articles or books, or when you talk about it, etc. So what has been done is, they have internationally, what they have accepted is a common terminology. The squares, each square, it is not called as white or black, it is called as light or dark, right? Light square means what looks light, means white, but we say it as a light square. And the black square, actually we call it as a dark square. Okay, so this square is a light square, next to it this is a dark square, right? This is a dark square, very simple. But so that white and black, we only reserve it for the color of the pieces, because one side is white, one side is black. For that only we use white and black. For the squares we say light and dark squares. Okay. All right. So all of this is covered in my pre-recorded YouTube videos. So in case you have, if any one of you have not watched it, you can watch it again. Okay. Now, next concept in the chess is diagonals. Okay. Diagonals is, as you have studied in school, diagonal is what is going across, right? Like this. Now, if you see the diagonals, they are of always of the same color. Okay. If you see this diagonal, which is going from the A8 to H1 square, it is all consisting of light squares, light square diagonal. And if you see the other diagonal, which is it is a consist of all the dark squares in one line, right? So there are so many diagonals. So how the diagonals are named? From the starting square to the ending square. So if you look at this diagonal, it is named as E1 to
Or
F1.
bishops and queens moving diagonally.
Exactly, exactly. So you are right. So we are going to come to it next in the thing, but it is important because the bishops move that way and queen moves, rooks move in straight line. So rook,
Yeah, sir. Sir, I was going to say that rooks move in the ranks
yes,
and files.
yes, rooks move on rank and file, and bishop moves on diagonal, and queen is a combination of rook and bishop, so it moves on both rank files as well as diagonals, right? So it is very important to get this in your head. Just go through and see all the
Sir, is
diagonals.
there Sir, is there a special word for a diagonal, a
No,
file, like that
no,
combination?
diagonal. We say diagonal only. In chess also we say diagonal only.
Sir,
Okay. Yeah.
I want to say something. Once I watched my friend, they were playing chess. That time, two bishops and one rook, or two rooks or one bishop equal to a queen. That's my question.
No, no, no. Technically, if you see, it is one rook and one bishop becomes equal to the, because that's how the movements happen. But because those movements happen together, the queen is actually slightly more powerful than a queen and a rook. Sorry, rook and a bishop combined. Mathematically, if you see, it is a combination of a rook and a bishop, right? Together is a queen. But because that force is together, it has got an extra value, so it is slightly more than roughly, if you see, then a rook, a bishop, and a one pawn, that much material is equal to one queen roughly.
Yeah, sir, I want to say that you might have taught this uh, while doing something, like if a king is here and a king, if a king is on a8 and a king is on a1 and a rook is on what is it? Wait, uh, middle of those two kings, then then it will be check, right?
Yes, it will be a check. If there is nothing in between, then the rook will be checking the opponent's king. Okay, Ansh Pai has raised his hand. Ansh, you have a question?
Yeah, so if a king kills a king, is it a checkmate?
No, king can never actually kill a king, because a king can never come near another king. Okay, because we will cover that as part of the rules, but a king can never come next to another king. It is an illegal move, so you cannot even make the.
Please, guys, stop it. Sir, while I was playing in arena,
Ah,
that time I knew that thing you just told, like.
yes. So you will never, the leeches arena, it will not allow you to make a king approach a king to the opponent's king. It will never allow it.
Or then the king will, opponent's king will kill your king if it
Yeah,
comes.
no, no, that's why it is illegal. Don't even think about it. It is not allowed. It is not allowed at all.
He
We'll
told
cover it as part of
hesitation.
the rules. Okay. Okay. So we will
Sir,
cover now notation. It is
sir,
important to cover the last part. Just 1 second. Okay. Let me
sir,
complete it and then you
sir,
can.
can we,
Yeah.
sir, can a king be killed?
No, king actually in a legal game you never kill the king, because if that position comes, then
Shit, it
that
is a
that side
draw.
is that side is
This
losing. Okay, so that's
chess.
why we end the game. If
So
the
you
king
can
is about.
only checkmate,
Yeah.
sir. You can only
So if the
checkmate.
king is about to get killed, then we say that is the end of the game, and the king whose king is getting killed is lost the game.
Sir, maximum how many times we can give checkmate?
Only once, because then game is over, right? Once you
Okay.
give a checkmate, that game is over. Then you can only play the next game. So
Sir, but I have give in one game two checkmates.
No,
Sir, if a king, rook is here and a king is here and another king is there,
no, no.
they
Wherever it is,
go
no,
all in a straight line. So
no
that will
problem.
be a check. If
No,
it
no.
moves
You,
there,
you
then the
can
bishop will
never
kill
you
it.
you can never give a two checkmates. You try to, if you are thinking, you can put the position, take a picture, send it to me before you make the checkmate, and then you send it. There is no way that you can legally make a two checkmates. Okay, you
Sir,
can give
I'm
two
thinking
checks.
that if a
Wait,
bishop is here and
wait,
the
wait,
king
wait.
will be killed by the bishop and the king will move, that will also be half a check, right?
No, no, wait. You can have attack the king twice at the same move. That is called as double attack. But that doesn't mean there are two checkmates. Checkmate is only one. Okay.
Yeah, that was
If once checkmate, the game is over.
Okay, wait. I think you are asking too many side questions. We are going to cover all those checkmates, etc. We are going to cover it in detail. So hold it for now. Now let us complete this. What we are saying is now that you know all the squares, then we have to be able to write the moves. So we also need to know the names of the pieces. So there is a very simple thing. K is for king, Q is for queen, R is for rook, B is for bishop, and N is for knight. The spelling of the knight is KNIGHT. It is the what do you call it? Is the knight rider, right? That's why it is the thing. But the spelling is KNIGHT, but K is already used for the king, so the symbol for knight is N. Okay, so now that we have the, and for pawn you don't require the symbol as it is. Okay, so how to write it, how the moves are written, what is, there is a symbol for the piece which is moving. You write the square from which it is starting, and you put where the square where it is arriving. Okay, so you put a dash in between. So for what happens is, this is how you write the move. So for example, here first move e2 to e4. What does it mean? The pawn is going from, because there is no piece symbol, that means you know it is the pawn. Okay, and it is pawn and it is going from e2 to e4. This is the e file, king file is the e file. If you see, so it is going from this to this square, from E2 to second rank to fourth rank. So we write it as E2 dash E4. This is the long notation. Okay. Now if black plays the queen pawn and it moves again two squares, so it would have started from D7 square and going to D5 square, right? So I'll just show you very quickly. So, okay, let us take a board. Yeah, see this pawn from e2, it is making a two square move. So the notation, okay, in a long notation it will be written as two square, e2 to e4. And if black moves two squares, it is going from d7 to d5. In short notation you only don't write it, but in long notation it is written as d7 to d5. Okay, so this is the thing. Now if you take the pawn, it is called as E crosses. Crosses is like crossing the swords, right? That's how you fight and kill. So that's why the symbol is X.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can't it just move straight and then none of the
You can,
pawn will be
you can,
killed?
you can. So that's why it is not compulsory. You could have moved the pawn straight also, no problem. That is also possible. Okay, this is also possible. Then you would have written the move as E5, E4 to E5 would have written, right? But if you kill the pawn, then it would have been written as E crosses D5. X means we say it as E crosses. Okay, yeah, X is called as, spelled out as cross, means it is capture. E captures D5. Okay, and then if black plays this knight out here, so how we write it? N f6, because the knight has come to f6 square. So if you see, this file is a b c d e f f, right? This file is f.
Sir,
And
if knight comes to f6, if knight did not
yeah, I mean, I'm just, see, right now we are not talking about whether what is a good move or what is I'm just talking about how to write the moves. Okay. So then after that, if white plays the knight here, it is written as knight to c3, right? And if you want to see the let me see, options, I can notation. I can also notation, I can go for long notation. Then everything will change the way I've shown it in the this one, right? That is how it will look like. See, E2 to E4, D7 to D5, E4 X D5, E4 crosses D5, and G8 to F6. The knight was on G8 square, it has come to F6, and this knight from B1 square, it has come to C3. This is how it is written. Okay, so you will get practice with it after some time. So this is just to understand how it is written. Okay, so this is what you should know. I've given the examples also with the diagram in the handout, so you can just what do you call, you can just go through it. And so sometimes people use, instead of the actual K letter, they also use the symbol. So these are the symbols of the pawn, knight, bishop, rook, and queen. These are white, and these are dark, means black. These are black. So
Over there's P, but but sir, there is P written, and pawn has nothing.
yeah,
Pawn has no
correct.
symbol.
Because what they say is, if you don't write anything, then everybody understand. The only piece for which you don't write anything is pawn. So they just drop it instead of writing as P. Okay. Sometime very old time they used to write it as P, but then they said no need to write, because if you don't write also, then we know something has moved, and what is that? That is pawn. Otherwise, all the other pieces have got their notation K, Q, R, B, or N, right? So other what is not written is automatically pawn. That's how people will make a shortcut, right? So that is pretty much what we wanted to cover, so that you know this notation. Anyway, what you do is you go through these handouts again, and so that you will just solidify it and go through all these squares. Try to identify the diagonals, all the diagonals, because those are all important. You will find that there are so many diagonals, right, of light squares and dark squares. There are 13 diagonals of light squares. There are 13 diagonals of dark squares. You'll be able to see it. Okay, fine. All right. So that is what we have come to the end of the first class. I hope you enjoyed the uh, arena, so that and tomorrow also I will have the practice. I will do
Yes.
the practice arena. You can join and play. Okay. So
Sir,
good.
Okay.
what time?
Tomorrow we will have it at
Sir,
7 p.m. 7 p.m. India, 7 to 8. Okay, 1 hour.
7 to 8
Okay,
p.m.
sir.
Yeah, India time.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, sir, make it a little early, please, because it will be too late in Malaysia and Singapore.
But too early also in India, it will become too